Revelation is the most feared book in the Bible. Most people hear the word and immediately picture fire raining from the sky, a seven-headed beast, the number 666, and the end of the world. Entire churches have been built around trying to decode it like some kind of cosmic puzzle, matching headlines to prophecies, setting dates, drawing charts. But here's the problem. Almost everything the average person believes about Revelation comes from movies, novels, and sermons that treat it like a doomsday manual. Very few people have actually sat down and read it, start to finish, as what it is. And what it is might surprise you, because the book of Revelation was never meant to confuse anyone. It was meant to do the exact opposite, and the proof is hiding in the very first word. The original title of this book is not Revelations plural the way most people say it. It's singular, one revelation, and the Greek word used is apokalypsis. Now in English, apocalypse means destruction, catastrophe, the end. But in Greek, apokalypsis means something completely different. It means an unveiling, a pulling back of the curtain, the same way you'd remove a cloth from a sculpture to reveal what's underneath. So the very first word of the book is telling you its purpose. This is not meant to hide the truth. It's meant to reveal it. And the very first verse tells you exactly what's being revealed. Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, not the revelation of the Antichrist, not the revelation of the end of the world, the revelation of Jesus Christ. That distinction matters more than most people realize, because it means the central figure of this entire book is not a beast or a dragon or a horseman, it's a lamb. And once you see that, the entire book changes. Before Revelation talks about anything cosmic, it does something most people skip right past. It addresses 7 real churches in 7 real cities dealing with 7 real problems. Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. These were actual congregations in 1st century Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, and each one gets a personal letter from Jesus in chapters 2 and 3. Some are praised, some are warned, some are told they are about to face persecution. One, Laodicea, is told it makes God sick. This is important because it anchors the entire book in real history. Revelation was not written to some future audience in a vacuum. It was written to people who were suffering right now under the Roman Empire, Christians who were being arrested, exiled, and killed for refusing to worship the emperor. A man named John, traditionally the apostle, wrote it from the island of Patmos, where he had been banished. And the letter he sent to those 7 churches was not a riddle. It was a lifeline. That is the context most churches skip, and without it, everything that follows gets misread. After the 7 letters, John is pulled into a vision, and the first thing he sees is a throne. Chapters 4 and 5 are the theological engine of the entire book. Everything else, the seals, the trumpets, the bowls, the beasts, all of it flows from what happens in this room. John sees God on a throne, surrounded by 24 elders and 4 living creatures, and in God's right hand is a scroll sealed with 7 seals. This scroll represents the full plan of history, the destiny of the world. But no one in heaven or on earth is worthy to open it. John starts weeping. If no one can open the scroll, it means history has no resolution. Evil wins. Suffering has no meaning. Then one of the elders says, "Do not weep. The Lion of the tribe of Judah has conquered." John turns to see this lion, and what does he see instead? A lamb, standing as though it had been slain. This is the single most important image in the entire book. John is told to expect a lion, power, conquest, dominance, but what he sees is a lamb that has been killed and is somehow still standing. The Greek word used is arnion, a diminutive, a little lamb, and this lamb is the only one worthy to open the scroll. That reversal, lion announced, lamb revealed, is the interpretive key to the whole book. Every time you see violence, conquest, or power in Revelation, you have to read it through the lens of the Lamb. Victory in this book does not look like Rome. It looks like a sacrifice. The word arneon appears 28 times in Revelation. The word beast appears 36 times. But the Lamb wins. That is the story. Here is where most readings of Revelation go wrong. People assume it is chronological, that the seals happen first, then the trumpets, then the bowls, one after another in a straight line toward the end. But it is not a timeline, it is a cycle. Scholars call this recapitulation. The seals, the trumpets, and the bowls are not three consecutive sequences. They are three tellings of the same story from different angles, each one intensifying. The seals show the struggle from the perspective of history. The trumpets show it from the perspective of warning. The bowls show it from the perspective of judgment. But all three end in the same place, the return of Christ and the final resolution. Think of it like a camera circling a mountain. Each pass shows you a different face of the rock, but it is the same mountain. This is why people get confused when they try to force Revelation into a single chronological sequence. They end up with contradictions, overlapping timelines, and events that seem out of order. That is because they are out of order, on purpose. The structure is thematic, not sequential. And there is another layer most people miss entirely. Nearly every image in Revelation is borrowed from the Old Testament. The 4 living creatures come from Ezekiel. The 2 witnesses come from Zechariah. The dragon comes from Daniel. The plagues echo Exodus. Babylon echoes Jeremiah. Revelation does not invent new symbols. It collects symbols from the entire Bible and weaves them into a final tapestry. It is not a standalone prophecy. It is the conclusion of the whole story. So if Revelation is not a doomsday code, what is it? It is a book about allegiance. The first-century Christians receiving this letter lived under an empire that demanded worship. Rome called its emperor Kyrios, Lord. It stamped his image on coins you needed to buy and sell. It required public sacrifices to the emperor as proof of loyalty. Now reread Revelation with that in mind. A beast that demands worship, a mark required to buy and sell, an empire called Babylon that seduces the nations with its wealth and power. John is not writing science fiction. He is describing the Christ followers' dilemma in the language of prophetic symbolism, a tradition his Jewish Christian readers would have understood immediately. And his message is not figure out the date. His message is, hold on. Revelation 2:10, be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. That line was not written to people in the distant future. It was written to people who might die that year. And the entire book exists to answer one question for them. Is it worth it? Is it worth refusing to bow to the empire? Is it worth losing your livelihood, your family, your life? Revelation's answer is yes, because the Lamb who was slain is now on the throne. Because Babylon, every empire that has ever demanded ultimate loyalty, will fall. And because the last 2 chapters of Revelation do not describe destruction, they describe a city coming down from heaven, a garden, a river, God dwelling with people, no more tears, no more death. The book that everyone associates with fear ends with the most hopeful image in all of Scripture. Revelation was never meant to be a puzzle for prophecy experts. It was a pastor's letter to suffering people, written in the language of biblical prophecy, saying, I know what you are facing. God sees it. And this is how the story ends. Not with the beast winning, not with Babylon standing, but with a lamb on a throne and a world made new. If this Christ-centered walk through Scripture helped you see Revelation differently, subscribe, because every week we break down the Bible in ways that cut through the noise and get to what it actually says. And if you want to go deeper into the Old Testament patterns that Revelation pulls from, watch this video next, where we trace every major prophet and show how they all tell one connected story.